Hey there, bookish gals and pals. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sierra or C, and we're going to be doing a little bit of spring cleaning. Spring is a season of renewal and growth, and I think spring cleaning is such an important part of that to help you feel clear and free for the new season. And I do believe that spring cleaning includes not just your physical space, but your mental space. So while we're cleaning my bookshelf, we're also going to be doing a little bit of mental decluttering. So it is time to reset for the season. So grab a cup of tea and let's start cleaning. Okay, we're going to start with the physical cleaning up, only because I feel like sometimes the physical to-dos weigh a lot on the mental to-dos because you just can't let that go when you know you have to do something. My shelves still feel pretty clear. There's still lots of space between books, but I do think that there's become a lot of trinkets on my shelves, and I feel like I need to navigate them a little bit elsewhere in my room just because I do feel like it is obstructing from the books a little just because there's so much of them. And you can't see all of them clearly, but there's just a little much for me. So we're going to start with going through all those trinkets, maybe putting a few away, maybe reorganizing the books a little bit so that they can spread out a little bit since there aren't as many trinkets there. So let's do that. I don't know if you guys saw this before, but this shelf has a lot of blue and white vibes on it, and my trinkets all match that. So I'm kind of wanting to do a little color scheme thing, but I don't know if I have enough trinkets or books that can match color schemes like that. So we're going to see what I can do here. Is all of my urgent TBRs, so I don't really want to change the way this shelf is very much. Honestly, there's not too much to change on the lower shelves here, so I might just move on to my red bookshelf and organize those ones. While I'm cleaning my shelves, I'd like to take a minute to talk about the mental spring cleaning part of this. So just like how our physical space can get cluttered, so too can our mental space. And I feel like it's just as important for us to make sure we are taking the time to empty that out. Sometimes we carry around thoughts, expectations, and just even books sometimes that just no longer serve us in our mental space. I've been thinking about some of the mental habits that I've been developing, just in general, things like needing to read all the popular books or needing to finish a book I've started, or other things in my personal life, things like feeling like I can't write a good enough story or things like that that just I hold too highly in my head, and it makes it hard to proceed through life. So I'm working on letting go of those ideas, of making myself feel like it just weighs you down, and it keeps you from the life you want to be living because you feel like you have to live under these certain set of rules in your head. Obviously, it's not as easy as just saying, I'm not going to do that anymore, or saying, I'm going to not think this way or feel this way, etc., etc. But I think there are steps you definitely can take to help you get there. For me, I think I just have to start small. If I'm worried about writing perfectly, then I just have to write really bad. I have to do something that I'm not proud of and see that everything's going to be okay. Write something that just doesn't feel like what I want it to feel like, and just know that I can always do better than that. I can always make it better and feel better about my writing by just working at it. For books, I obviously can just stop reading popular books, skip out on one, and see what happens. There's just a lot of options, and I think we often think, "Oh, I feel so awful that I finished this book," but we don't stop to think, like, "Why do I feel awful about this? Why should I feel awful about this?" Take the time to think to yourself, is it something that you should feel awful about, or can you do something about this? And just tell yourself that it's okay. It's perfectly fine if I don't read this popular book. I don't know if I sound too sappy or introspective here. Sometimes I get into this mode of thinking where I am very introspective to the point that maybe not everyone can easily, I don't know, get behind, like feel like that's okay, or just talking about it can sometimes be weird to people. And I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable with my observations of the world or whatever. But I just feel like it is very important that everyone takes their time with themselves to think about what matters to them and what in your head is serving you or not serving you anymore. Now that we've done a little mental decluttering, it's a little easier and it just genuinely feels a little lighter going through this and organizing it. And I don't know if that's in my head. I mean, obviously it's in my head because it's the mental decluttering, but it I just feel like you feel lighter when you take the time to remove the parts of you, remove the thoughts inside of you that just don't fit you, that you don't want anymore. As you guys can see, I'm kind of moving around which shelves are where right now. I don't like where my sprayed edge ones were. They were all here. And I feel like this is prime spot for like my favorite books. So I'm moving all of my sprayed edge ones to the top. I also think it's nice that now my bookmarks, which is all in this thing, are on the same level as my like urgent TBR. I don't know if that makes sense to why it is. It's just that I'd like that it's close to there so I can grab that book from that shelf and grab my bookmark from this shelf. I like having this shelf here because it's some of my favorite reads, and I even have an art print. I don't have a lot of art prints, but having that there is just so fun to be able to see anytime. It used to be on this top shelf, but I don't feel like you can see that very well, like the full image of it from up there. So I'm glad it's here now, easier to spot. These are my little naturey Emmas, and I think they're super cute. It's got a mushroom hat and everything, but I'm not sure which shelf they go on yet. So thinking I'm just gonna have to figure it out as I go. Okay, I'm really liking how it's looking so far. I like this change with the sprayed edges and whatnot. I think I'm gonna have to tinker with it a little bit more as I realize like what's bothering me about it. Like for one, I realized that I don't like my book stacked this high, like to the top. It kind of bothers me to see that. So I'm gonna have to rearrange this one elsewhere. It's really amazing how clearing out your physical and your mental space can make so much room for new energy and new books. I feel much more organized for my spring reading, and if you haven't watched Monday's video yet, I outlined what books I am planning to read in spring. I'd love to know if you do any sort of spring cleaning for your bookshelves or for your mind. I want to know what your process is, so let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more bookish content, and hit the bell icons if you want to get notified for my next post. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here's to a fresh start for my mind and my bookshelves. See you guys in the next one. Until then, happy reading.